It began with 3 pillars, the foundation for UW Esports, pushing ourselves to greater heights.
Community.
Career.
Competition.
Oh yeah. Reminds me of Toronto Defiant. Toronto Defiant Yakpung. Reminiscent of that, of just juggling everyone into the corner there.
Maybe that'll be the game changer here for UW.
Maybe. Oh my goodness! What an angle by Wizard!
Wow. What a shot.
Hello and welcome to our UW Esports Game of the Week featuring our UW Esports teams. Today we're featuring our UW Overwatch team in the Collegiate Overwatch series. We are at the playoffs and we're featuring 2 matches against first University of Minnesota Twin Cities, and then later the UW team is going to face Maryville. Our esports program seeks to build and foster community, open doors to the vast career opportunities in the field of gaming, and promote the virtues of healthy competition. Through esports, we're able to communicate with one another, forming and developing digital communities that are so necessary in these COVID pandemic times that we're facing right now. So I hope that you enjoy watching us in the stream, and if you're interested, you can join our UW Esports Discord server, which should be popping up into the chat every now and then, as well as our social channels at University of Washington Esports. And to introduce the casters, I am Nelson. I go by the tag PandaBear15. I'm currently a freshman at University of Washington.
And I'm Eugene. I go by andVid on here. I'm currently a sophomore at the University of Washington, and I'll be your other caster for tonight.
And we're looking at elimination matches here, and you know, everything's on the line for these matches. Is you go big, you go home. These are first to 3 series, by the way, and so we're bringing lots of high quality Overwatch here. Playoffs, everyone's super good. You have to be good to get this far. Now, win, go home. Both sides looking to go big here. Now we're going to look at our map series here, and we're going to be starting at Nepal. And it looks like our first map here is going to be Sanctum, I believe. Now, Sanctum, you know, there's this really big pit at the side of the map, and so you may see a lot of boop characters, Lucio specifically. And it looks like both teams are interested in rolling it, and looks like we're actually rolling near mirror compositions. The only difference here is we have McCree on the side of UMN and Tracer on the side of UW, as we're looking into the first fight control of the side corridor here. And just Lucio's going back and forth here, trying to establish control here. UMN looks to be coming on top right now. And, oh, that's a big boop coming onto the Reinhardt there, though. And that the Nacer is a big plays there, and without the Reinhardt, even though that pick came onto Platypus, the engage is not able to happen because Reinhardt controls so much of this brawl versus brawl style. And Max, he's going to have an amplification matrix pretty soon, but so is Corey, and Sergeant Fish is going to be overwhelmed with all of the damage pouring in. Both tanks go down, and even though early point control goes to the side of UW, the re-engage is good with the amp matrix, and it looks like that after the first initial poke engage, kind of, UMN is going to be able to secure the first percent with only 17% gained for University of Washington. Taking a look at the ult economy now, it seems that Sergeant Fish and Tribute, they're gonna be getting the Shatter, and bolt-on Speculative Plasma is going to launch the Drag in that completely takes over the side corridor and takes out Roar. Mikey's gonna go down, and again, Reinhardt's great ultimate, realizing that the Reinhardt was kind of stuck in a basically narrow hallway. You just chuck a Dragon Strikes through, and you're going to pick off the most important part of this composition here. And now UW are looking to go aggressive, holding on to this initial choke. Great pulse bomb from Trip. That's a one fight already. Again, picking a Roar, Great Stick just blink into the back. They're looking to go even more aggressive here. Force out the lamp, and Lucio's in trouble here. Gonna get picked off here. Now we are heading only 50% for UW though, and UMN do have 5 ultimates. Looking to utilize that ultimate advantage, but UW, they aren't completely dry either. Platypus almost has another Dragon Strike, and he also has both tank ults and the Sound Barrier. Sound Barrier is going to be so important here as the aggressive Sound Barrier goes in. But the bomb counters that, and Stelzen is going to pick up one. Bomb's now launched from Khan, and which finds a lot of space and actually going to get the isolation onto Platypus here. But Platypus, he outplays Roar! What a outplay there to just pick up Durant and then pick up Corey on top of that on very low HP. And then, well, why not just launch the Dragon Strike there? I might have liked to see a few more ultimates come from UMN, because you would have really liked to win that fight with an ultimate advantage. And you can see Khan, he swapped to the Zarya to try to gain an edge on this brawl versus the D.Va, but it's so late she's going to have no charge and no grabs to speak of. Stelzen just going to be kept up by the ammo, but even though that happens, there's already 2 picks. Goku, amazing boop onto the Reinhardt there, and that's converting the ultimate advantage that I was speaking about earlier. The Hanzo and McCreel's come in, zone everyone away. Ammo's forced to be used, but it can't save you from boops. Now we're at 50% to 99%. Are we back?
Yeah, sorry, I missed like half the round, but looks like we're back in it.
Well, I'd love to have you here. It's kind of tough just rolling by myself, but great to have you back. But we do have a game here, and right now, UW, they've broken through this initial hold here and getting a team kill.
Yeah, it looks like Washington didn't need me being here because they just got a full team wipe.
You know, I think that the internet's just trying to spite you here. That happened a little earlier, but you know, you're gonna pull all the good stuff when you aren't watching. You know,
yeah, man.
Maybe we should just kick you out, and that gives them good luck.
Well, shoot. How did the last round go? What did I miss? What did I miss?
Okay, so we just had 100 to about 50% on favor of UW. Now we're heading on to Village, and well, you see Platypus on the May, great May map. You just have these 2 choke points going right onto point, and Platypus is going to be looking to get value by trying to wall off UMN as they try to come in.
Okay. Yeah, looks like they're gonna be teleporting, getting the extra time with the May.
The extra time's actually pretty big. Look at this! Oh my god, huge plays. The counter wall does come in, does isolate Sergeant Fish, but that's the teleporter out of spawn actually getting value there.
Yeah, they were just there a fraction of a second earlier, and they were able to keep them indoors. And the second wall, it kind of pushed off the Reinhardt, but not enough time to kill them. So the rest of the UW is still alive, and since they're all alive, Cap is opening up, and so they can get it. 2 people on point to capture, and it's free. They won the first team fight, yeah.
Those are just the little things in Overwatch, where it's like, yeah, that only saves just that little bit. That little bit was totally enough to get the surprise early wall. Platypus does a great job getting that and get the speed boost in from Nathros, and that's just it.
Well, now as they're trying to fight on point, UW is going to have to drop down from high ground. They throw Immortality Shield right there. They freeze their enemy Ryan. The Immortality Shield for Baptiste goes down, and so do the entire team of University of Minnesota.
Great CC coming in from Platypus, just managing to freeze a Roar. And you know what you can't do when you're frozen? Well, you can't do anything. And when you can't do anything, you can't put up your shield, and so free shatter.
Yeah, I don't know how that first round went, but this second round is fully in favor of UW so far.
Now, UW, they're still going to be looking to hold the high ground here, but the walls are going to look to come in soon. doesn't split anyone off, but it forces the ammo and a defensive wall. So that's a pretty good trade there. But Sergeant Fishy goes down.
University of Minnesota is trying to push from the same angle as last time, but this time they're able to survive a little bit longer. They're able to cap the point. UW is kind of
goes down
all around it, not really peeking it too much. Stealth Ninja alone, right there, gets damaged out. Everybody gets grabbed in there, but no really pushing defense. Pushing damage. There was no damage on that graviton. But on this time, when it's their grab, they follow through with it. They keep their promises.
Yeah, that was kind of interesting there. The Stealth Ninja commits the grab, even though Sergeant Fish died earlier in the fight, and Reinhardt is a lot of your cleave damage that goes into the grab, and so with the shield up, the Aurora is just able to block all of the damage that's trying to come in.
Yeah.
And so that doesn't get value.
Looks like we're going to be going in for another bunch of ice walls on high ground as they're all duking it out here. But in the background, Deadeye catches 2, and the rest of the team is able to capitalize off that and move on in, taking out the rest of the team. A full team wipe right there.
I think what happened there is that Deadeye has a longer duration than the wall. If I recall correctly, the wall stays up for 4 or 5 seconds. Deadeye lasts for 6. Either that or Mikey found a way around the wall with a speed boost from Goku. Either way, great play to just pick off two in the back line.
Well, we're going Maywalls again. I think that's the classic signature for these team fights. They put a Blizzard up here, but not many people there. UW going around getting some picks off here, but picks are traded both ways. As another second Blizzard goes up, these Mays are really taking front stage right now. But as the team fight kind of waters down, UW ends up on top.
The May on the side of the UMN gets a little bit excited from the Blizzard, but doesn't respect that there's defensive bubbles that are able to keep UW up through the Blizzard, and so as Squatch gets a little bit caught out there. Early shatter. Oh no!
Shatter right into the walls. I mean, you should have seen that coming. These walls have been placed like early, but all of Minnesota is super low. The defensive, what do you call it? Baptiste Immortality Shield kept it up for a little bit, but now it's too late. As it run down, the entire team gets wiped out. They soaked up a ton of damage there early on, and they couldn't recover from it.
What happened there was that Khan on the Reinhardt actually got blocked by his own maze wall. Just so unfortunate timing. Oh, I got the shatter here. I'm gonna try to get the counter shatter after I block the shatter on the opposing side. Oh, come on! Why is there my wall here? Come on, that's the one time where you don't want the wall to come up.
Yeah.
That's so unfortunate there. As UW's going to take the overall map 2-0.
Yeah, Nepal is going over to Washington. It was starting that second round, which is kind of all I saw because I missed it first round. Sorry about that again. But the second round, UW had a super strong beginning. It looked like it was fully UW, but I guess they lost a hold of it. They still end up winning the round, obviously, but they felt a lot stronger at the beginning. And if they can go back to that, if they can feel that energy again, then this could be a quick first to 3.
Indeed, as we're looking into our second map, which I believe is King's Row here. Now, first to 3, still plenty of time for interesting things to happen, but it seemed that, at least in the first map, granted, Nepal has some pretty strange maps. Like, we had the Sanctum the first round that, has that giant pit. We have the Village, which is really good for maze. King's Row is probably one of your most classic maps in existence here.
Yeah, I think since it's been open, since it's been a map, like ever since the game came out, everybody's had tons and tons of practice on it. So everybody has their own spin on it. UW has their own way they like to play it. A little brawly, a little dive.
Yeah, right. Now, you do really favor the Reinhardt typically here, and we're seeing that both sides are going to cater to that with this Rein Zari here. Now, we do have a Mei coming out on the side of UMN here, but we have the classic TP out, but the big wall isolates the Reinhardt here, Emofield comes in and actually does work.
Yeah, this time it wasn't their wall, it was the enemy wall, and they caught him in a good position, stuck in the alleyway. They can just throw up a bunch of damage. They're kind of trapped. There's nowhere for them to go, so they're all just stuck there, and they just gotta fall. Yeah, UW really lost that fight there.
It looked so good at the beginning for the side of UMN getting the split that they wanted, as UW's trying to come around wrap around the point, but big MO comes down and UMN, they aren't able to break it quickly enough. A huge bubble from Stealth Ninja onto Sergeant Fish to keep an up through the charge, and that's going to award UW the first team fight here and the first point.
Yeah, and you can see in the background, Platypus went over and he switched off. Now he's going over to back. They got May on and Trib as McCree and May on attacking. But
now,
right
did they expect a shatter here?
He was right around the corner waiting for it.
Hits 3.
Ooh, and they're able to put a bunch of damage and get a pick. Looks like they're all fighting right here underneath the arches, getting a few picks, and it looks like defense is going to win here. I think that surprise attack was just too much for.
Right. I think UW wasn't expecting Roar to have a shatter already because he was on the losing end of that last fight, so maybe they weren't ready for that. Then Roar is able to pick up 3 on the shatter, but then they pick up Sergeant Fish on the Rhine, who wasn't shattered actually from that. But when you have 3 people shattered, there are essentially 3 people who can't contribute for 3 seconds.
And Sergeant Fish is gonna have his own shatter here, so he could start this next fight with the shatter. Looks like he's gonna throw it right down right there.
So much C. Look at those assists, man. Bap assist, McCree assist, May assist, Lucio assist. Everyone's contributing to this. Both grabs come down and everyone's just kind of awkwardly staring at each other there. But the Blizzard comes down from Askwatch, and that's going to, you know, just freeze everyone up.
Yeah, I think that Blizzard was the last tipping point that really gave them and guaranteed the fight for them.
The thing is, UMN has to stay back just a little bit because they did lose a few. So UW will be able to take a little bit of space here, but there's a Deadeye here that's speed boosted.
He's going all the way in. Goes around the corner and finds Stealth Ninja. There goes one of their tanks. And they're gonna be going off of that. They do another good shatter that gets mostly gets like the entire team. They get a pick off Platypus. But as the fight keeps going, they lose one of their own. They lose their own May, but they're able to grab UW's liner. I mean, they won that fight fair and square, and so now UW's got to back off. But Trivia doesn't like losing, and so he's trying to get the stun. Can't really get a pick, but at least he's stalling.
Well, the thing is, the spawns are a lot closer for UW. So even though Platypus lost the May ult there, it actually gets canceled by the shatter. UW is still able to kind of remain present on the cart because of the respawns.
And looks like we're going into another team fight. Nathros immediately putting in the sound barrier, so they're all charged up and ready to fight. But they got the same thing on the other side. I mean, they're just looking into a mirror. They throw down a Graviton, captures a bunch of UW players. So Minnesota has to use that. And the hammer from Reinhardt's swinging around, getting a ton of damage. UW is able to get some picks. Minnesota's grabbing some ticks. But it looks like it's going towards UW, as UW is able to use all their players. Mags getting a pick of his own, as Baptiste in the healer.
It looks super scary for UW. UMN were doing really good in that team fight, but they had the grab come and they had the second sound barrier in their favor. And a bunch of UW players were low there. It's crazy just how long that UW managed to sustain that out.
But Minnesota likes fighting up front, and so they're immediately pushing back. They're not letting any ground go here. Platypus throwing in a blizzard. It's getting a bunch of Minnesota people, and they all fall. They all fall down. Looks like UW gets nearly a full team wipe. Baptiste up there in the top trying to survive, but he falls all the way down.
Yeah,
with his
good reset.
Yeah, good reset, true. But they're so close. There's only going to be like 1, maybe 2 team fights if Minnesota's lucky. UW is all on the cart, and it's right next to the checkpoint. So
there's no ultimates for the side of UW, and this is such a hard last point to crack. Just third points in general tend to be that way. There's no ultimates to help out for UW. It's going to be tough.
And as the contention starts out here, it looks like they got a wall all the way to the back. They're looking some trade. Both Mays go down. There's a little bit less stall for Minnesota. Baptiste, Mag's window, putting out extra damage. They're getting rid of the Minnesota's tanks. They're pushing everybody off of point, at least trying to. And UW putting up the immortality, make sure none of them fall. Blizzard catches a bunch of them as Sasquatch goes around, putting out a bunch of damage. But Lucio is able to save some of his teams with the sound barrier, which allows Tribute to throw off an ult and survive long enough to not get a pick off that, but once he's out of it, he's getting a pick of his own. UW just taking out tons of Minnesota players right here.
Oh my. It would take a long time for me to go over just how many individual plays went well for University of Washington in that last fight. Mags is, first of all, granted, Amplification Matrix is one of the faster charging ults in the game, but he's still able to get that up early, and then they're able to aggress. The Maze get traded out, which means there's not as much as able to just stop a super fast aggression from UW. And we know that UW, they are a super aggressive team. They love to just impose their will, and they're gonna push forward with speed boost. They're gonna get the isolation onto the Rhine there, and the ammo field is not enough to keep them up. It looked like UMN were not ready to just get the trades that they needed to keep that defense going.
Yeah, something interesting we saw that last round was that UMN like to hold higher up, usually on this map in Kings Row. Once they lose it, like especially the first checkpoint, they kind of let the defending team lets a bunch of time, so the attackers can get a ton of space in the early in the early path. But they held all the way up at the first archway, and so they were able to spend a lot of time in areas that might have not have been fighting areas. Yeah,
and part of that is a lot of the fights that UMN did win. They weren't super clean, and so they have to drop back a little and let Respawn go through. But now UMN, they're going to be on the offense, at least on first point. Spawns are going to favor them as UW wraps around Hotel.
Yeah, they wrapped around the hotel, immediately went to fight, but now they have to back up. I guess they didn't get the first picks they wanted. They were hoping they would get at least one with that surprise entry, but it didn't work, so they're backed around the statue. This is a more typical position to hold right here before they get the advantage to actually...
Note that we have a Doomfist on the side of UMN actually looking to get some value, and that does happen. Stealth Ninja goes down.
But they lost Mikey, so they don't have the man advantage right now. And so and there goes their Doomfist. Their wild card just dropped, and so they're gonna have to back up once again. This is gonna be the second time they jumped in and had to back up because they couldn't get the advantage.
Well, in theory, that's an okay trade as the Zarya is a big part of this defensive comp here. Gonna put down a lot of damage, and they're actually gonna look to reaggress super fast here. Speed boost in, but here's the that's brutal. But he's still alive.
Oh my gosh!
Okay.
Not much longer. I mean, they were frozen with the blizzard. They tried to run away, ran into the wall. That's a good May play right there.
Oh, Trib. Come on, Trib. You just got rolled when you had the flash. Oh, come on, man. Good play from Guku to get the trade, and that actually could be consequential here, as it will take a little bit for Trib to actually get back. Guku's gonna come back a lot faster, but speed boost is there to get him back fast, so it actually won't matter to a whole lot here.
Yeah, UW has just been holding on point. They're not letting it go. As soon as they jump in, as they're jumping in right now, throwing a grab, UW is gonna push up against them. They're not letting this go for free. They're not losing any ground here, but they do lose their May. Platypus goes down, and Doomfist with his ult throws it in the background to try to pick a defensor right there. Gets Nate throws their healer. There goes Mags in the background. Both of their healers are gone, so all that remains of UW have no heals and no support, and they lose the point.
That's the Doomfist engage that you're looking for. After the grab comes down, and actually Khan's already halfway to another one, but the grab goes down, forces a lot of utility from UW. Then the Doomfist comes in when all the healers are trying to heal. Big wall there though. Don't know if they're able to. Oh
man,
brutal, absolutely brutal. Sasquatch looking for the flank, wasn't expecting to get flanked himself.
Yeah, he doesn't have much to protect him, like in defensive wise. He's very much offensive with that huge fist. But it looks like we're gonna be going for a Mikey's throwing out a Deadeye, trying to find somebody in the whole crowd fighting going on right there. Done some people. Reinhardt, Rohu throws the throws the, what do you call it, Shatter, catches 2, and the rest of the team comes through and takes out all of UW, really.
In all the chaos there, Roar somehow manages to get behind Sergeant Fish and was both bubbles down because they had to be expended earlier to protect against the Deadeye. Roar just goes, "Oh, I'm behind Sergeant Fish. Doesn't this mean I get a free shatter?" Well, yes, it does, indeed.
Yeah, apparently it does. UW has to kind of get up here and see if they can stop them from pushing this last checkpoint before they go to the underground. But Khan right here, he has got his Graviton, so he's looking to use it, and he uses it immediately, grabbing a bunch of UW players. UW throws up a wall of their, a window of their own, throws up a blizzard to try to back them away from the Graviton. As the Graviton's gone, UW still alive, gets a bunch of picks, and they, they take control of the escort. It's theirs now.
Well, maybe you've heard the saying, the best defense is a good offense, and that's exactly what UW did there. The grab comes in, but they don't just expend the ammo there. They also put down Amp Matrix and Blizzard to just absolutely snuff all the aggression that UMN are trying to put into the grab. And so, best defense, great offense, and they're able to just snuff the tanks there.
Yeah, and it's right in front of that checkpoint too. If it had gone just a little bit further, they would have gotten a new spawn point. But now they have to run all the way back from the first checkpoint.
I think that was a canceled beat from, and Nathan gets stunned out of his beat drop there. That hurts there, and that actually might just cost this point, and UMN might be able to secure this point off the back of that. That's a great play for Mikey there. To be able to have the presence of mind to just cancel the beat drop there with the flashbang, which means that all the sustain UW was expecting is gone, and that's going to secure this second point.
Yeah, and Corey was a big help in that fight too. He was doing a ton of healing there. He was keeping nearly the entire team up. I mean, that was crazy. That was good plays right here. And Mikey going for another crazy play, throws the Deadeye and runs up as his signature move. Goes around the corner, finds the support. I mean, their spawn is right there, so it might not be too big, but for right now, they're low on heals. They are able to use that to take out UW's Reinhardt, take out their Immortality Shield, take out their second tank. There goes both their tanks. There goes Platypus. A good stall. So Triviap in the far back has to kind of hide and crouch in the corner. And meanwhile, Guku is having a Lucio 1v1 up on the top rooftops. He's got an ult of his own. Triviap's using his ult, takes out Guku.
In the middle of beat, actually. That might be a big deal. There's a lot of sustain missing now on the side of UMN, but this is a fully charged Zarya here. It's able to do so much. And pressure actually onto the Bastion. Bastion is going to go down, and there's a meteor strike incoming, and there's only going to be so much you can do against this Deadeye here.
Yeah, Minnesota has the advantage, and they're going to keep it. They just need a second left to push the escort to the final millimeter as they clear everybody away from point. Yeah.
I want to point out how UMN got value out of Deadeye there. So that entire last point opened up when at least what looks like Mikey's able to get a Deadeye kill onto, I believe, Nathros. But it does so much more than that, because you have to respect all the zoning power that Deadeye has, and UW, they have to actually split three on one side and 3 on the other side, and they have to split so far apart because the speed boosted Deadeye is just walking around the corner, and so it does so much more than just get the pick there. They also say, well, we've essentially zoned out 2 other players. They can just collapse on the other half of UW. And after UW does their best to stall, they're able to convert that play into a 3rd-point cap.
Yeah, I love Mikey's Deadeyes with his side partner Guku with the speed boost. Yeah, usually Deadeye it's a zoning ult, and it's usually used for defense, but he's been using it, I think, solely for offensive purposes, like this whole game.
Well, it's like the way that this was working. It kind of it reminds me of way back when Ana's Nano Boost also gave you a 50% speed boost, and you had stuff like Beyblade, I think that was the Nano Reaper, and then you could also do that with Deadeye, and that's essentially what UMN were doing there, just without the damage boost. But you don't need a damage boost for Deadeye, strong enough as it is.
Yeah, well, it looks like it's their turn to try to a push right here. They get immediately walled off, but they're still able to kind of walk around it, touching point. They throw up their immortality shield right there. They're trying to, the two Reinhardt's trying to fight. It gets too much damage. Corey there to heal him up before he gets immediately taken out. Yeah, Roar didn't last too long once he got really low. Looks like UW is going to be keeping this right here. Looks like they got flashbang. Take out the Sasquatch on his Doomfist pick again.
Mm-hmm. And that seemed like a question of high ground. When Trib maybe should have been contested a little more by either Goku or Sasquatch, and he's just moved onto the Mei, so that might be a bit out of the question. But Trib was getting lots of value raining damage from the high ground there.
Yeah, looks like Khan's gonna go up for high ground too. He's trying to get that. He recognized the value too, so he's knocking him off. The enemy D.Va is gonna push them off, so they have to back up to the rest of the team. Corey is once again stuck with a bunch of low players, trying to heal them all the way back up. Mikey with a Deadeye. We could possibly see another aggro move right here, but they've already got control of the point, so they might as well keep it.
And the first trade there in that fight, they dropped their Lucio, but they get Sergeant Fish on the Reinhardt in return, and that's a trade that you'll take any day of the week, because you know that shield's so powerful in these brawl versus brawl.
Yeah.
So now there's a fair amount of ultimates available for UW on and there's a small window in which they can have this ult advantage there.
Yeah, and they only need to get them off of Escort for just a little bit because it's all overtime from here on out. So Mikey throws up with Deadeye, doesn't find any value whatsoever. A big blizzard going off here, trying to get everybody off of there. They're still staying. They've got staying power, but they lose 2 and lose 3. Yeah, they lost nearly the entire team. Just 2 more left to take out as Platypus goes in there, freezes the second to last one, and the last D.Va taken out. There goes overtime.
That was just a conversion of massive ult advantage at that last fight. 5 ultimates go down for UW, and that's enough to secure that last fight there. And some of the kind of late swaps from UMN might have hurt them a little bit there. Sasquatch switching from the Doomfist onto the Mei, and that at least hurt his individual ult economy. I don't know if having the Blizzard up there, it could have made a difference, as Blizzard tends to be a pretty powerful ultimate in your brawl comps, right? But
Yeah.
that was a lot more of those tick marks available for UW, and there's a clear win condition set in place. Can UW do it in 2 minutes 10 seconds?
Yeah, UW basically Minnesota can't let them cap point, because if they cap point, they only push it like barely outside of right underneath the archway, right? So if UW caps point, then it looks like they can make the small journey that is like a few steps out of the garage.
And especially if they're able to cap point and then pick up some either split spawns or staggered kills. We know that UW loves to do that. That would basically be it there. So this first point here is important. How this goes for the defense here for UMN.
Yeah, I would honestly say if UW can cap this point, they kind of win this. They kind of win this round, and then they would tie it back up.
I don't know about that, but
no, is that too looking too far?
Maybe. Well, let's see how this goes first.
Looks like UW is gonna be having high ground. They're gonna go around the right loop all the way over to try to get above the point itself.
You're prioritizing high ground. I like the move.
Yeah, they're kind of swapping. Now the offense is gonna be defending the point as they're all kind of in the in the little office space right there. And UW's dropping onto point. They have control of point for right now, so they're gonna be defending it, kind of falling back into this thing. But they lost their Reinhardt because of that wall. It separated the team, and he falls down. UW lost their Reinhardt, and so the rest of the players are just kind of like lonely without that shield.
that was a good try from UW, but the wall gets a little too much value there, forces the immortality field out, and Sergeant Fish still goes down over it, as well as a few others.
Yeah, I think that wall really won them the team fight there.
And it took so much time too. It takes a lot of time to make that wraparound play, and this could be last fight here.
Yeah, with less than 50 seconds left, UW's got to make a move, and they got to make it quick. So they throw the Deadeye. I mean, it's walled off again, these walls, really being the death of UW. And Corey around the corner, healing up his whole team, making sure that they're all good. I mean, they're all like above half health right now. UW has no advantage right here, so they've got to make a move, and so they're kind of pushing in, trying to get some Reinhardt swings off. And the first player goes down, but it's going against UW. UW, they throw their dragon, but they're not able to get a kill off yet. They finally get their first kill. It's a Reinhardt, so that's a good pick. But Immortality Shield there is making stall in time at least. And I mean, what do you call it? With 8 seconds left, 7 seconds, UW's got to make something happen, and they just lost their
late beat. It doesn't keep Sergeant Fish up. This is anyone's game here, but Trib, he's back on the Tracer. Huge picks, gets 2, and the Reinhardt falls there. And this is a kind of fight that okay. Eventually, all the cleanup happens at once. Good calls from UMN to all die on point there, but it looks like Khan is still gonna get a backward spawn here. So they're only gonna have 5 people here now. Oh no!
Oh, he gets the pick to stall, and he's got ultimate too. Goku.
That's so huge. That may have just won this right here. That's as a okay. Maybe I spoke a little too soon here, as trades are coming through, but trades should favor UW here.
Yeah, they did a bunch of trades, and they did it way in front of the escort, so it wasn't stalled time. And it's right above the checkpoint. We're all in overtime. Everybody's fighting on point here. Looks like Khan loses his suit, and he's not going to show up very much out of it. So UW getting a bunch of picks. They've got the manpower to push it right over the edge.
Huge plays at the end there too. So what happens there is that there's actually a huge boop from Naceros to force one of the players from UMN into the line of sight of that bomb there. When the fight was still questionable, it could have gone either way. And that singular boop is able to secure an extra kill, and that's converted into a team fight win there on King's Row.
Yeah, I think even though UW ended capping the point on overtime, it's just so hard to defense that far up. I mean, it's like right next to a point. So especially when Trib got the early pick, they were just kind of doomed. There wasn't much they could do.
Right, and UMN, they tried their hardest to pull that back. We saw kills going, and Mikey's popping on whatever he's playing. Like I think he's been playing to McCree, but like whatever, right? But just losing that BAP to most of the damage came in from Trip, but Platypus secures that was the arrow on the Hanzo. That's super consequential there.
Yeah, it was just too much. It's just too few people to defend too far up, I think.
Right. And then even though that UMN were trading, another thing against them was that, spawn advantage does heavily favor UW so close to that first archway. As now UW, they are leading 2-0, and now we are looking at Rialto as possibly the last map of this series. It's match point for University of Washington, and I don't think, right now the scoreline says 2-0. This isn't the kind of one team's absolutely rolling the other kind of 2-0. That especially that King's Row map, I could have easily seen that going to UMN.
Yeah, it was super close, especially like UW, their first 2 attempts at trying to cap the point both failed. So yeah, UM is definitely a worthy opponent here. I think UW has got to stay on their game if they want to end it this early.
Right. This is by the way, Rialto. This is the kind of play where I would think UW might have pulled up the true dive with like Winston, but looks like UW's gonna continue to favor this Ryan. It does make sense that these little payload corridors. Makes sense for Ryan. You also have the May from Platypus on the defense here looking for splits. But UW has kind of surrendered high ground control here.
Yeah, they got a few players up there, but not much. They're mostly all on the ground. Yeah, Stealth Ninja and what do you call it? And they're Ryan, both trying to move point, trying to get it away from that high ground advantage that they know UMN has.
Right. They're still a little bit, and actually, they use the wall to boost up onto the high ground.
Oh, man.
And I don't know if UMN were ready for that. Immo's forced out, but no one goes down, so it's all right. But now UW has high ground again.
Yeah, and they've got the escort pushed past that high ground point. So now we're going to like a separate part of the map where UW has control of it. I mean, they've flipped sides. Like once again, I don't know if it's a UW signature move, but now they're the ones on the defending the point from the attacking defenders.
There's damage pouring in from all angles there, and that's an example of just how devastating high ground can be. Rialto has a lot of it, and Trib gets up onto the house in the middle, pouring damage from behind. Wall goes off, splits everyone up. The tanks just can't deal with all of that pressure coming from every single direction.
Yeah.
Now we're looking at this should be a theoretical win for UW due to just the amount of ultimates available here. And yep, there goes Shattered, there goes the Blizzard.
Yeah, as soon as they come up there, throw the Blizzard and kind of, oh, you wanted to come up here? All right, stay up here, stay frozen up here.
Yeah. You know, Maze, you know, Ice Devil, yeah. UW still has a pretty consequential ultimate advantage for the moment, 2, almost 4 ultimates, but you do have 3 on the side of UMN, and Beat should be coming up kind of soon, and so this is going to be possibly a pretty explosive fight here.
Yeah, and they're immediately taken to high ground. UMN really likes this high ground, apparently, as they should. They throw up a dragon there, finds 2. That's pretty good, and the rest of UW is kind of pushing away from the way the courtyard. Yeah, they kind of scattered, giving UMN control of the escort.
Well, you know what? You can't stay on high ground if there's spiraling dragons barreling down at your face. So that was a really good high ground control there, and from that comes a fair amount of payload progress. UW should probably still be able to get one more fight here at the next archway here. We'll see how this goes. Now we're looking at 4 to 5 ultimates probably. The last fight wasn't really the explosive one that we were looking for. This one probably will be, though.
Yeah, you can see he's got his ultimate. He's looking for a place to use it. But he's without it, even he's able to find a Lucio pick. He's able to find a Reinhardt pick. Looks like UW is going to have all the picks start up this match. And so as it unfolds, they just completely, they win. They win here.
Okay, sure, but now I think that might have been quite an expensive win here.
Yeah, definitely.
As they do expend, I think, 4 ultimates there, but UW is going to be facing a bomb, a dragon, sound barrier. I guess the ultimate disparity isn't that bad, but now we're looking actually at very low time left on the clock. They've got to touch fast, and Cons have one to do it.
Yeah, he's got a bomb right here. He's going to see that everybody up here is on high ground. So as he gets out of mech, he throws it right there. Window isn't a shield, so it's going to throw a bunch of damage. Control didn't get a pick, but it destroys the immortality shield. Baptiste is still up there in the background on high ground. But UMN is pushing this point and all the way, just enough to get this checkpoint and get some more time. Boom, 2:30 on the clock. Now they have plenty of time.
And actually, that ultimate advantage was enough to win this first checkpoint, I guess, onto the second point for UMN there. And the 3 ultimates that they had available, well, okay, the sound barrier isn't, but the other 2 were zoning ultimates, and zoning ultimates are the way that you say you can't sit here, and that's how they're able to force their way through onto the first checkpoint here.
Yeah, it looks like UW is going to be going for a little high ground out here in this, in this building. Coming out the windows, coming from behind. He's got a shadow right here. There's a big wall and a big shield. So he's still waiting to kind of use it, looking for an opening. Maybe if that shield comes down for a little bit longer. Both Ryans are trying to push each other. Trib gets a pick on the Gugu. That's low heals for UMN, as they lose their second healer. No more heals here. UMN's got to try to run away if they can, but looks like they're going to be staying and just kind of falling right here.
So it goes on to the there's one pick that goes for the side of UW, and the call comes to drop and to surround him. Platypus gets dropped on the drop down, but with UW players on both sides, being surrounded basically equals the fight win for UW.
Yeah, and even though UW was lacking on ults now, they're about to have 6 ultimates.
Yeah, this might be a little tough, but Flashbang comes in and gets one.
Yeah, and what do you call it? Looks like Mikey going from the back, high ground, throws his ultimate. He's getting pushed off there. Stealth Ninja with their own bomb, taking out Mikey, trying to punish them for finding finding high ground over there, and UW just kind of pushing them all off.
It's pretty good. The only 3 ultimates get using. You still have 3 more, including the Blizzard, for this potentially last fight here in the middle of point B. Do have a Sound Barrier tries to stay through it, but generally Sound Barrier doesn't counter Blizzard as well as you might like.
Dragon gets thrown on point. It doesn't really find any damage or kills though. Diva ult trying to push everybody off the high ground. But UW just got so many picks, and with that dead eye too, man, there's just too much. Stealth Ninja's bomb finishing it off.
And that's a great recognition from Trivia there. That generally the Deadites a little hard to pull up because you have Diva defense matrix. Yeah, there's a bit of mind games of, well, you need to start defense matrixing, but I can just keep holding Deadeye. But what happened is that Khan uses the self-destruct, and self-destruct a great ultimate and all that, right? But while you're using it, you don't have access to defense matrix. And Trip's like, okay, thank you, I have the freest Deadeye ever, and takes out 2.
Yeah. Once you throw the Diva bomb, you're kind of vulnerable for a good few. And like you said, he was able to take advantage of that.
Would you like living on a boat on Rialto?
I mean, it would be nice for a tour or two, but maybe not living there.
Do you die if you touch water?
Oh, shoot. Not real life, but I don't want to touch it. I don't know what's in this Overwatch water.
That's true. Like, you know, like in all these, like in Full Sky too, apparently touching it is death. So, like, I don't know. Like, this is supposed to be like the future, right? So maybe all the water gets so polluted that touching it, you just die. Although then, like, why does it? Oh, okay. I was about to say, why doesn't they kill Bastion? And I realized that was a stupid question.
Oh no, that's just for fun. Just for fun.
Okay. Anyway, we're going on to the offense here with UW. And basically the same compositions as we had before. Both sides running McCree, May, Ryan Diva, Lucio Bap. Wall comes up to establish high ground. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, these walls are getting tons of value every single round, every single map. Really, they find a way to implement them. Yeah, and so now that it's a fight on on high ground, neither team really wants to give it up here. They're both committing. They're willing to both fight and die here. So Platypus getting taken out. There goes UW's May. So UW is a disadvantage. They lose their mag, so there goes their healer and one of their stalled DPS. So it looks like UMN is starting to have the edge on this fight here. But it's not over. UW is still trying to.
No, it's over now.
Oh, okay.
It's over now.
When the Ryan's done
goes down. Yeah, you aren't gonna stay through that. And Platypus went down in that fight early, which means that they aren't able to really contest the high ground because May's strength is just being able to deny your opponent of the space around May.
But Platypus going for something cheeky, possibly. They're going kind of around. They wall off high ground right there, forcing a few of the UMN players to drop down and contest on this point. They don't want the escort point going too far, and so they're going to get rid of UW's McCree. That got rid of a bunch of damage potential for UW. UW trying to wall off the danger, get them away, but UW lost their Reinhardt, and UW, once they lose their Reinhardt, they kind of lose the whole fight. And so there goes Platypus and the rest of the team running away. Mag's falling in.
One of the reasons why you take this Lucio Bap compositions and when you have these maze around is that they don't particularly care about the wall. And yeah, maybe it annoys them just a little bit, but Bap hops over, Lucio wall rides over, and so even though towards the tail end of that, Plasma gets a pretty nice wall up, the heals are still able to continue to go through, and UW isn't able to do much about it. Big boot.
You can see Roar got booped off, but he's got he's got a shatter, so maybe that was good for him because now that he's down here, he can look for a way to an angle to throw it down. But UW's getting a bunch of picks. This time they're leading the fight with the picks, and that's pretty good for them. And so they're going to be really using that to the advantage, pushing all the way up, trying to get these last remaining healers who are left behind.
That was a huge eat from Stealth Ninja to denying the Blizzard from Asquatch. And now UW, they're going to hold super far forward here. They aren't interested in having to try to defend first lane. They just want to have it straight up. And they're going to yield. But now there's only one-ish fight left with Asquatch just going down. That's huge problems.
Yeah, UW is getting a bunch of stall picks here, and they have so much more time. UMN was already on overtime when they were getting to the first checkpoint. And they throw down... He throws down a big shatter, catches a bunch of people, gets a pick off Roar for that. Roar's going to go all the way back.
And they're still pushing the payload, by the way. They're still pushing the payload, and Roar is not here. This is going to be a huge problem trying to contest this point because the character that you'd love to have under can't. It's coming back from respawn.
And with 3 minutes left, it's right on the checkpoint. Mikey around here throwing a flash bang, throwing out a bunch of damage. They finally got their Reinhardt here, but it's a little late. I mean, they're right on top of the point. But they're able to still capitalize it. They made something out of it. They were able to get a team wipe right there. UMN making an unlikely victory right above the last checkpoint.
And there are two big things that happened there. The sound barrier was super clutch. Just managing to keep everyone up. Roar, who just charges back from respawn, is able to get there and contest point just in time. And then great ability synergy. Mikey putting down the flashbang, and all the damage pours into Sergeant Fish there. Now, this is partially canceled here. Mikey, I didn't think he wanted to drop down. Oh,
Taking a swim.
I don't think he got boosted. I think he just accidentally fell on his own, and that's a huge problem as Roar goes down off the back of that, and who's going to stay on cart?
Yeah, with UW having the man advantage, it's just a baby diva left on point who's getting immediately smacked. There goes Lucio, too. I mean, the Mei is in the background, but she's not touching point. Too late.
And that's going to be a 3-0 in favor of UW. Close out this first elimination game. Great job on both sides. And again, I'll say that, okay, yeah, it was a 3-0. It wasn't a stomp 3-0, but it was one where you could have reasonably expected a few of those maps to go either way. So good job to UW and good job to UMN. And now we're going to be going into a little bit of a break. And when we come back, we're bringing to you University of Washington versus Maryville.
Yeah, we'll see you then.